everyone. My name is Tiffany. I am a certified family nurse practitioner and telehealth expert, and I am very excited about tonight. Let me go ahead or I have to wait. So I'm very excited about tonight because I have someone very special joining us. And Lora, go ahead and request to join whenever you're ready. And this topic I hold very close because I am committed to staying transparent on all of my platforms. So on my clinic page, you get the real. On my personal page, you get the real. And you get the real. Because way too often we see all of the good and we don't always see the behind the scenes, which can be looked at as negative. But all in all, good, bad, ugly, positive, negative, it's all part of the journey. And you can't just go into the store and decide which part of the journey that you want to take and like exclude the rest. There's no a la carte options, you know? So when you decide to take the leap and become an entrepreneur, and even if it's not an entrepreneur, if you decide to take a leap in your career, if you decide to take just a leap in general, it's going to come with all of it. And so we need to be prepared, and we need to learn how to identify the emotions that we're feeling and then have coping mechanisms already in place in a toolbox that we can just pull out and apply in that particular situation. So we have Lora here with us, and Lora is an affirmation coach who I think has a fantastic niche and can be very valuable to all of us in this industry, because if you're following me, most likely you're a nurse practitioner, and most likely you are burnt out and you're looking for other options and different avenues to go. And a lot of that starts here. Like, we can have a lot of ideas, but ultimately society has a lot of pressure on us as well. And so if we don't protect here, then we'll never be able to be actionable and successful. So that's why I decided to have Lora join us today. And I wanted to talk about imposter syndrome, what that word even means, how it affects us, and all the good things. But first, I want Lora to introduce herself.
Hey. First, thank you for having me on here. I'm super excited. I think this is an amazing topic to discuss because nobody is above imposter syndrome, okay? Especially when you can identify with what that means. So thank you for having me on here. I'm super excited. Yes, to be here. So I'm ready to jump right in. I love it. Hey, y'all.
Let's do it. Lora,
keep the vibes high around here.
Right? Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Lora, tell them a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so as an affirmation coach, I name myself because that's who I am. All right. I like to speak life over those around me because there was a time in my life where I was speaking self-sabotaging language over my life and did not realize that I was breaking myself. It was me against myself. And I didn't know it. I didn't see it. I didn't understand what my thoughts were doing to me. They were not kind to me. And so once I finally woke up, right, I had this moment that it woke me up. And from then on, I realized, wow, the power of our words, the power of our thoughts, the power of how we create our reality. And I was like, if I can wake up from this, or if I'm dealing with this, first of all, then I know there are so many people out there dealing with this as well. And the reason that I went into this whole brokenness was I lost my sister by suicide. And so while I thought my journey was to speak more on just mental health, suicide prevention, bipolar disorder in general, it turned out to be a journey of my own to let go of my past so that I could live my life. And so in doing that, I rediscovered who I was. And now I intentionally chose to speak life over those who crossed my path. No matter what you're going through, whether you have experienced something traumatic like that in your life, or you're just in a different space like here, stepping into new levels in your life, and you just want to be confident in that. And so I choose to speak life over those that cross my path.
Yes, yes. And I love it because it's so close to me because I am very transparent about my journey as far as being in therapy for the last 3 years now, and just how different I am as a person because I'm able to identify
Mm,
exactly what I'm feeling. Like, it's amazing how you have to learn how to do that though, and you have to be willing to face the ugly before you can start seeing those prettier days and be able to do that. So without further ado, let's talk about this imposter syndrome. Okay. So
okay.
I am going to first read off a definition of what is generally accepted as what imposter syndrome means. Imposter syndrome is loosely defined as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. It disproportionately affects high achieving people who find it difficult to accept their accomplishments. Many question whether they're deserving of accolades. So this word is loosely thrown around, and although it is a very real condition and it's a very real feeling, we really need to address the root cause of this imposter syndrome. Because just saying that you have imposter syndrome, okay, that's just like just saying you have hypertension. Now what? Like, why do you have hypertension? So today we want to kind of break apart why you may be feeling imposter syndrome. So, the first thing that I want to ask is, why do you think high achieving people, especially women, find it difficult to accept their achievements?
You know, this goes back to when I entered into this world of speaking my truth. I dealt with imposter syndrome myself. Once again, did not realize what I was telling myself, entering a world of mental health professionals because I was now talking about mental health. And I didn't have the certificates. I didn't have all of that. All I had was the experience. And so I didn't feel like experience was enough. I didn't feel like my truth of me actually going through it and speaking out of my mouth what that meant for me. I was like, well, I don't want to, send someone the wrong direction when I'm not the mental health professional. And so I think it's just taking that next step and forgetting to own your story, own who you are. And that's that inner work. I think self awareness is key. I didn't know that I was over here comparing my life to other people, trying to be on their level versus just speaking from where I came from what my truth was. And then, resonating with those that resonated with my truth. Right. And so I think that the thing is we begin to compare ourselves to those that are higher instead of being inspired by those. We look like, oh my God, I'm not good enough to be around those people. And so I think it's important to find that confidence within yourself to know your own story, no matter what that story looks like, the good, the bad, the fugly. Allow that story to be your strength and who you are. And so I think if we can get the comparison out, then you start owning who you are, and it doesn't matter. Folks are going to talk about you anyway. Some folks will receive you and some won't. Some people are your people, some are not. And I think that that's the bigger picture.
Yes, you said so many words that I resonate with, and a lot of words that I share on this platform. And when nurses or nurse practitioners come to me and they say, this is what I currently do, but this is what I really love to do. It's just, I don't know if there's a market for it.
Right.
Okay. So when it comes to if there's a market for it, if you have an idea, 9 times out of 10, that idea is needed because we are all high functioning people. We're not on low vibrations. We're high vibrational, high functioning beings. So if you have a passion for something, 9 times out of 10, it's because you've recognized that this particular area needs your help and your expertise, and you have it. You are just doubting yourself because it doesn't look like anyone else is doing it. It doesn't look like that you can't see anyone else doing it right now. So you're like, surely it doesn't make sense for me to do it if no one else is doing it yet. And that's where we limit ourselves, right? So, and you have to identify what is your passion and what is inside of you. And like you said, your story, and stick by it, stick beside it,
Right,
because
right. I gotta,
people
I
will
gotta
be
add to
attracted
that.
to it.
I got to add to that high vibing being and given the vision that you're given. Yeah, you're realizing a niche or something that's out there for you, but when you're given a vision that feels so good within, it's not always just realizing a niche. That is the universe. That is God. That is a gift that you're
Yeah.
given to
Yeah.
realize for yourself. And a lot of times we put it in the back because of the doubt and we don't think it's for us. But if it was given to you, then it's for you. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter who's doing it at the end of
Yeah.
the day. So as high vibing beings, it's own up to those downloads that you receive, get excited for it, and don't
Yes.
start overthinking, because the overthinking comes into place. You get excited when you get the vision, and then all of a sudden, when you don't jump in it because there's multiple steps, then it's like you think of the end result first versus what is my next step. And so
Yeah.
that next step is what keeps you in that motivation and the momentum going, not focusing on the end result. So hold on to the vision that you're given and don't let nobody bust that bubble. That's a
Yes.
gift.
Yes, exactly. And I always like to share my story because I want the people who are watching and are nurses or nurse practitioners and they're in the beginning of this entrepreneurship journey. When I first decided to start my telehealth practice 2 years ago, I was very passionate about it. I was so excited. I had to be excited because I did so much research to do it. And then I did it, and I wasn't getting the response that I wanted. I wasn't getting the amount of patients coming in that I really wanted. So what did I do? I abandoned that idea. And then I was like, I started researching how to start a med spa, did the trainings. I'm like, this is what everyone's doing. It has to be what the only way that you could be successful as a nurse practitioner, business owner. And so I took all the courses, all to just realize that that's not what I wanted to do. So at the end of the day, all I did was waste time and money when I could have just stayed faithful for the plan that God had for me, the plan that I was passionate about,
Right.
and not worrying about that end result, like you said. So very, very true. All right. The next one is, how has society aided in this feeling of anxiety and unworthiness that we as women, and especially women of color, experience?
So I don't know if I'm going to answer this how many would think. Um, I think the main issue here is not society. I think it's self. I think we have not been truly taught to focus on self first. We've
Mm-hmm.
been looking at not even just when social media, the billboards prior, the models prior. There's been things that have been pumped into our brain that you can easily be influenced by. It all happens. And so there's an influence out there, and it's up to you to say, does that fit me? Or am I trying to fit into that? So
Yes.
we can't sit here and blame society for something that we should be gut checking ourselves. And I think with COVID, when COVID came around, to me, a lot of people lost themselves in that, because it was like everything that I knew was shut down. I can't go nowhere.
Yeah.
I can't see what I want. But to me, that was time for reflection. That was to say, when everything shuts down and you can't see nothing, you can't have nothing, nothing's in your face, what do you do with yourself?
Oh,
How do you
yeah.
build yourself up? And so I think it's about not letting society define who you are and
Yes.
what your abilities are, what beauty is, what your business should be. Society don't have shit to do with it. It's really you. So, I mean, that's to me the bigger picture, is owning up to what you're allowing in your head.
Yes. Yes. That's a very good response. I love that. It's a shift in mindset because we are very quick to find an external source for
Mhm.
our issues, our problems, our shortcomings. We're very quick to say, well, I can't do it because of XYZ, or that's not for me because of this. But a lot of times we don't take the time to do a self inventory of, why is it really because of XYZ, or is it because I am choosing to make it about XYZ? And 9 times out of 10, it is because we're choosing not to take the responsibility.
Right. Do the inner
Basically,
work,
we're
take the
choosing,
responsibility, self-reflection, right?
yes,
But
we're
looking
choosing
to
not to
things
be
outside
accountable.
ourselves to validate who we are, looking to things outside ourselves to say, oh, yeah, by the way, I could do that too. But then you end up comparing yourself and feeling like you're not good enough to do it. So you're giving too much credit to the things outside yourself when it goes back to the gift that you've been given within. So do some inner work and do some inner research, inner reflection to say, okay, how can I make this come
Yes,
out and not give a shit about what anybody says, because
that
this
part.
is a message that is coming through me, so it must be meant to be heard. Okay? And if
Exactly.
nobody else hears it, I know I need to do this for myself. So it still all comes back to me, because one of the things that I share with everything that I teach is I'm talking to myself. So whatever I share with you, I'm still being selfish because I'm talking to myself, because this is how I pump myself up and affirm myself. So it's about affirming yourself instead of letting other people fuel you with what they want you to believe and think.
Definitely. So that kind of flows into another question that I wanted to ask is because I personally didn't understand this until I discussed it with my therapist. So I'm sure there's other people who feel the same way. What exactly does it mean to affirm? What does it mean to speak affirmations and to have affirmations and the importance of affirmations?
Oof, you're speaking my language now. First of all, we are always affirming ourselves. I'm stupid. I'm not good enough. You're affirming that
Mm,
shit,
yeah.
right? I'm an imposter. I have imposter syndrome. You're
Yeah.
affirming that shit. And so affirmations play a huge role in rewiring and retraining yourself, which comes back down to self-awareness. If you're not self-aware of what you're telling yourself, you're going to affirm a whole lot of bullshit. And you're going to let other people continue to affirm that with you, depending on who you hang around. So affirmations to me, once I realized the sabotaging language I was speaking over my life, I started, actually created affirmation cards to shift my language. And so it started with me creating these affirmation cards. You know, this is my life. This is my experience. I'm doing me. Simple stuff like that. You know, fear is just thoughts. Worries are just thoughts. Let these thoughts pass on by, right? Let that shit go. Little stuff like that. It doesn't have to be this big, huge, magical hoopla of things you're saying, but it's definitely better than I'm stupid or I'm messed up or I'm not good enough or I'm not pretty enough. I'm not fine enough. I'm not fit for this position, because those are the things that cross our mind because we're so busy, once again, comparing to other people. So affirmations play a huge key role. It's not a woo-woo thing. It's just retraining your thoughts. And so the more you say it, even though you don't believe it in that moment, even though you don't really get it in that moment, the more you say it, it becomes your belief system. So you're retraining your belief system. And so when you think a thought long enough, that belief, it turns into a belief. When that turns into a belief, it turns into your reality. Now we don't have to deal with imposter syndrome anymore.
Yeah.
Does that mean that it doesn't show up? No. That shit will always try to creep back in. It's going to always be there in the back of your mind. But now you're more aware to say, huh, not today. This
Not
is my life,
today.
my rules. I'm doing me, and I
Yeah.
deserve to be here. And so it's really about retraining and rewiring the way you think about yourself. No matter how you got influenced to be in this space in the first place, we're not going to beat ourselves up for being here now. Now what? We're going to move forward from here and say, what do I really want to be? What do I really want to say? How do I want to be? As a matter of fact, I am this. I'm going to speak like this. I'm going to walk like this. I'm going to talk like this. Therefore, I am this. And so that's what it's about. It's just retraining yourself to be that best version of yourself daily.
Yes. And something that I started to do when I was first learning about affirming and being more aware of my affirmations, because you're right, we affirm all the time saying, I'm one, a good example is this. If you're in the gym and you went to the gym because you have to work out, but you're exhausted, the workout looks hard, you're just like, I ain't really trying to do this today. So the whole time you're like, why am I here? I hate
Yep.
working out, I hate doing this weight is heavy. It's just, that was me. So I said, you know what, let me try to change what I'm saying to myself and see if the way that I perform in the gym is different. And I did. And instead of saying I was tired, I said, I am so happy to be here. I am happy that I chose to be here today. You know, I'm going to do 15 sets instead of 10. I am strong. I will finish this set. I started saying that, and it was easier. So
Yeah.
that was a quick win for me, so that I was like, okay, maybe this can work a little bit. And then I just started being more self-conscious about what I was speaking to myself, because the ego in our head, that voice will definitely make you feel so unworthy, and
Mm,
it's not your voice. And it's,
no.
so you have to separate those two in order for you to push through the day. Listen, the world is already an ugly place, and it's already going, like you said, they're going to talk about you. You don't need to talk about yourself.
No.
So it sounds, if you haven't been introduced to this before, it sounds like people say to do this all the time, but it's very true. It's so simple that you feel like it's not going to work, right? It's kind of like the manifestation, where when you write down what already, if you write down something as if it already is,
In
you
present
think
tense.
that that's such a simple task, and it's just minute. It's like, why do I have to do that? There has to be something else that will get me in a better mindset, right? But it's not. It really is all within. And us feeling like that's not going to work is because we still aren't used to having the power already in us
Right.
and taking it and using
Right.
it. We still want an external power to come and save us from this feeling of anxiety, and it's not
Yeah.
going to happen. It's literally already in you. You just have to be aware of it and want to create tools to bring out that power, and to know what to do whenever you're sitting there and you're feeling just extremely anxious. Which brings me to another topic that I'm sure a lot of people feel. This is basically my journey, and I know that I didn't do it alone. And so I just want to make sure that everyone who follows me knows that you are not alone when you go through these emotional roller coasters. So what also can happen to high achieving people is, once you reach a goal and you're successful in it, and it's a time where you should be celebrating, you kind of feel not worthy of being celebrated at all. You know, you feel like everyone else around you is congratulating you, and they're so excited because they know how much this this goal meant to you. But you reach it, and you don't even give yourself time to enjoy it before you already feel like, I should be doing more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Yeah.
what in those moments, what can we do to take that power back and actually celebrate ourselves? Because it's hard. It's actually a form of anxiety
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that most of us don't realize that that's what it is, but it is a form of anxiety.
So what I teach is to breathe and be selfish.
Yes.
Breathe and be selfish. So my suggestion and encouragement is to breathe. We're moving too fast most of the time. This goes back into chasing that end result and proving to other people and over proving to yourself, and you can't even enjoy the journey. So if you're not enjoying the journey trying to get to the end result, you're going to do it and it's going to continue and make a cycle. So then, yeah, you hit that milestone, you hit that great achievement. I've got to do this again to maintain this momentum, or they're going to think that I'm not blah, 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 blah. And so it's like, slow down and give yourself permission to breathe. And when you breathe, you break up with all of the distractions and all of the voices in your head that's telling you what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. It's like, no, today I'm proud of doing this, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to just bask in this shit. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Because tomorrow's not promised. So if I'm rushing to get into the next thing, what if I don't make it?
Ooh.
I didn't even enjoy this,
Mm.
right? So we can have this moment. As a matter of fact, let's breathe right now, shit, because I like to open up normally with breathing, because a lot of times we're ready to jump right
Yes.
into something, and then we don't prepare ourselves to take in. We have all of these expectations of what we want. So, and it's as simple as just this space right here to inhale and exhale, to inhale and to exhale. And within this inhaling, it's just a moment of stillness. This is where your peace, this is where you can embrace, enjoy, receive all that you are. This is where your story comes alive, but not in imposter syndrome. But, okay, I don't even have to think about how fabulous I am. I can feel it. There's a difference between knowing what you have and feeling it. And in that breath, in that space in between, inhale, there is a completely different vibration happening in there, right? And it feels good.
Yeah.
So permit yourself to chill out and breathe. Anytime you begin to feel overwhelmed, anxious, and overdone, outdone, burnt out, it's because you are burning yourself out trying to get to that end result that will never end. Your end result will never end until you're dead. Okay, you will always be chasing a goal. All right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're in this field of, like, you have these ideas and these visions and stuff, you can always chase something. So enjoy it. If you can't enjoy it, what's the point?
Yes, yes,
So
I
breathe.
completely agree. That breathing, and I'm so glad you did that because I was about to ask you to breathe with us because a lot of people don't breathe. I have to remind myself to breathe, and it really is a moment of just reflection and just thinking, okay, you did that. Like, you did that shit. So celebrate it. And even if
And it's
your
not even
celebration
about
is just
thinking, it's about feeling it. Like, nobody was
it.
thinking when you're breathing. You're not thinking, I did that. You're like you feel the celebration. It's a thought. Yeah, I celebrate. I feel good. I am so proud of myself. You feel the difference. Your vibration rises times 10 versus thinking about what you did. When you feel it, you are in it. And that's the same thing when you're visualizing who you are in this space outside of imposter syndrome. When you visualize the person you want to be, then you are that person. When you can feel it, you take visualization, you take the writing, and you put it into a form of feeling it, embodying it. Now you are this person. Now you are there. Now you can appreciate. So we're taught to go, go, go. We're taught to just keep on. We got to do it. Hustle hard. We'll sleep when we're dead. No, I don't want to sleep I don't want to only focus on when I'm dead. That's when I rest. No, I want to be able to rest in my accolades. I want to rest in the shit that I've done. I want to rest in my achievements. I want to rest in this shit and be like, yes, and feel good about it, you know? So breathing breaks up with all of the mental noise, the mental chatter of what's next, what's next, what's next. Now, I'm not saying get lazy on yourself. I'm just saying have that moment to appreciate where you are before jumping into the next thing, because there's always going to be the next best thing.
That is true. That's definitely a different way of thinking about it. Is there's always going to be a next best thing.
For sure.
I hadn't even thought about that, but that's very true. And then the bedside rescuer says, I set an alarm to breathe at 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. and it usually catches me at a time that I need to stop and take a breath. Mm-hmm. That is very true. So can you talk about your affirmation cards and what type of products that you offer and your YouTube channel? You have so much to offer. Let the people know.
Yes. So my affirmation cards, I have 3 different sets. And of course, one is breathe. Breathe was my first space in order for me to get into selfish. So I created these based off of where I was mentally, where I was learning how to be more present in my life, learning how to be more self-aware. The breathe collection is the more slow down. Permit yourself to breathe. Slow down. Let some stuff go. Slow down. You know, and so I had it to be more present. These cards are meant to be more present. Once I became present, I could realize, okay, now, wow, I didn't realize how much I was downplaying who I am. So then I got into being selfish. So my selfish collection is basically building you up. This is about me. I'm unapologetic. This is my life, right? I'm going to do what I feel is right for me. I'm going to say no, right? So these are not affirmations I'm saying in there, but it's the mind frame or the mindset that it puts you in where it's focused on you and nobody else. So once I got my presence down, my selfishness down, then I had to come into being worthy. I had to feel worthy about myself. So I created the Abundance Collection, which is about I am speaking everything I want into existence. My finances, my love, my everything, the right people and circumstances in my life, everything is coming together exactly the way it's supposed to be, because before we get to our worth and understand our value, we've got to quiet the chaos with breathing. And then we understand, okay, let me learn a little bit more about myself. Now I'm learning a little bit more about myself. Man, I am so freaking phenomenal. Where have I been my life, right?
Ooh, yes.
So that's the collection, and how it manifested and created by my journey: breathe, selfish, and then abundance. So I'm really super excited about those. My bestseller is The Selfish. However, everybody's working on that self and reaffirming, being unapologetic about who they are. So that is one of my main focuses now. I also have my YouTube channel where I do a lot of coaching videos. I have a series that's about to come out on there that I'm super excited about, that is about how I got to be selfish. So now I'm taking not just the cards and stuff, but I'm also sharing with everybody, this is what I did to break up with all of this mental chaos to get into the space I am now. And so I'm super excited about dropping that series. It's coming soon. Okay, we're in the editing. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe so that you know whenever that drops.
Yes, and all of that. So if they were to go to your Lora Rosemon Instagram, do you have a link in there? Okay.
I do. You can click that link and then you'll find all of the content that I have, because I have masterclasses. It's a bunch of stuff, but that's the space that I like to kind of throw first so that you can get to know me, because I know I'm new to you. And so, I'd like to reel you in with a little bit more of, let's get to know each other. Let's breathe together for a second. Okay, let's be some best girlfriends for a second.
Yes, I love it. I'm gonna have to get the abundance deck, because that's where I am right now in life.
Yes.
I'm definitely gonna get that. So let me see. I don't think we have. If anyone has any questions for Lora, you can go ahead and drop those in the question box. I have greatly appreciated you, and I always enjoy speaking to you. You speak so much. When she says she speaks life, it speaks life into those around her. She is not lying. She speaks life into everyone around her, and it comes naturally because she has already done it. She's doing it for herself. So it's only natural to do it into others. And I absolutely love that. Like I say, mindset is number one. And it turns into, it goes more from just mindset to reality. It really is. And so no matter what you're doing, this was, of course, my page is, full of nurses and nurse practitioners looking to become entrepreneurs or are already entrepreneurs. But even outside of the professional life, personal definitely still applies. Like you have to get it together. Basically, you just have to get it together. And Lora is a great starting point because it's not over complicated. She is inclusive, and I absolutely love it. I hope that you join us more because the people need you, right? Okay, and then
with the takeaways real quick. I don't want to. It sounds like we're closing out. I just want to make sure that they understood.
No, go ahead.
I just want to leave you with the takeaway. As you're putting your questions in, I think one of the main factors here is stop affirming that shit. When we go back to the imposter syndrome, stop affirming that shit. Okay, you don't have imposter syndrome. That is a title and a name made up for what it is. Yes, we all have doubts. Okay, we all deal with insecurities. Everybody does. Stop affirming that shit. From here on out, you no longer acknowledge, you no longer recognize yourself as having imposter syndrome. You may have some things that cross your mind that you just need a gut check. That's where self-awareness comes into place. How do we begin to become more self-aware? Recognize that you're not your thoughts. Sit back and watch those things pass by. All right, self-awareness. This sounds crazy. You are not your thoughts. You do not have to identify with every thought that arises. You are not your thoughts. So the next time that doubt or that fear or that insecurity kicks in, you sit and you watch that thought for a second. As you watch that thought, I guarantee you give it some time, it's going to fade away. Don't attach to it. Don't entertain it. Just look at it. I see you. Sometimes you got to bring shit to the light. It's been in the dark there for a minute. So it's been festering and messing with you. Look at it and say, I see you. I'm facing you. Once you do that, I guarantee it'll fade by and you'll be like, what was I thinking? Don't even worry about it. It had nothing to do with you anyway. All right. The second thing is breaking the cycle. This goes back into the affirmations. Even if you get my cards or not, write you some notes, put them on the mirror, put them on your laptop. Those little notes make a huge difference. Okay. Look at those every day as you're passing by. You'll be like, I am beautiful. Yes, I am. High five myself. I am phenomenal. Yes, I am. I am doing great things. Yes, I am. I am proud of myself. You won't realize how you're rewiring yourself to just start speaking highly of yourself. All right. So affirmations are huge. The other thing is huge. Stop worrying about other people and stop worrying about what you think other people are thinking of you. So that's what it comes down to.
Yes.
What you think they're thinking of you.
Yes.
All right. So I just wanted to leave you with that, which comes all down to be your authentic self. Be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. Let the people that's meant to be around you be around you. You don't want to be fake and phony and then attract fake and phony people. That's not who you are.
Ooh,
be your authentic self. You will attract those that are supposed to be in your space. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I just had to get that off, baby.
Yes,
when it gets to I got to make sure that I get the message out.
Hey, if you have anything else, completely keep on going, because that is everything that you just said is so true. Especially stop worrying about what you think other people think of you. That right there is a word, because we 9 times out of 10 we really don't know what people think because they're not expressing it. It's what we think that they think about us.
Let me tell you something. There's this one world, this one here that we have. Everybody is living in their own world, though. Like mentally, everyone has their own story going on in their head. So what you're thinking that they're thinking about you, they might be thinking about something completely different. And you're over here stressing about something that has nothing to do with you.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one to definitely unwire in your mind. You know, that's powerful for sure. Thank you so much for sharing that one, because people not worried about you like you think they worried about you, basically.
No, they really not. And if they are, they don't have nothing else better to worry about. So worry about me, because I might be teaching you something. Okay? Ooh. You can do that. I really don't care. But if that's what you want to do, I'm gonna mind my business and just be me. Okay? You might get something out of this. So it's not like, hey, I'm hating on you for what I'm thinking you think, but I don't need to even think about you. I got other shit to think about.
For real. That right there, that staying authentic to who you are makes it so much easier to show up. So much easier to show up, y'all. When I first started showing up on social media on my clinic page, I'm gonna post it one day. I shared it before, but I'm gonna post it again one day, because I literally had a script and I had a teleprompter on my computer, and my voice is so high pitched. And I just thought that this is how I had to show myself for people to take me serious. You know, as a nurse practitioner, you're supposed to wear your white coat. You're supposed to be in business casual, you know, wear your stethoscope, all of these things. That was not me. And at the end of the day, I had to realize that, like, doing all of that was for who? Doing all of that did not take away from the degree I hold, the knowledge that I know, the expertise that I have, and the care that I can give my patients. So all of that other noise was stressing me out. It was making me anxious about showing up for what I was once passionate about doing. So once I took away all of that, once I was like, you know what, these people go get what they get. How you see me on social media is how you see me in my patient video and my telemedicine visits with my patients. It's how you see me on my clarity calls with some of you on here. It's how you'll see me with my family and my friends. It's just, I know there's a time and a place for everything. So I know how to stay professional, but you're still going to know who I am. And it makes it so, my days are so much easier. At this point, I just hop on whenever I want to hop on, because I know I have something to share. And you either go take it or you're not.
If you look at some of my YouTube videos, some of them I'm looking like I just ran out. It's mom mode. I ran out looking like mom, and I didn't have no probably no eyebrows on, but a message hit me, you're going to get this message. So if you
Exactly.
can't look at me, then that's fine. I guess the message wasn't for you, but somebody
That
going to get
one.
this message
That
because
one.
I'm
I guess
talking
the
to
message
myself.
wasn't for you. And that's okay. Because when you feel something, and I just always say this, when you feel something inside, it's there for a reason. I know people
Yep,
are gonna get tired of me saying it because it's so true. And when you
it's true.
recognize that that is put inside of you by the universe,
God,
God,
yeah,
whichever higher being that you want to say is from, it is there because it's meant for you to share. And you are doing a disservice not only to you, but for the person who was supposed to receive that message, you're
hmm,
doing a disservice to them as well. So when you feel it, who cares how you look? I have lives on this page right now where I was literally at the pool with my mom enjoying my life, and I was like, I'm supposed to tell somebody this today. And I
yeah,
hopped on. At first, part of me was like, should I really go live when I'm at the pool in my swimsuit? The other part of me was like, no, people need to know this. People need to
right.
understand it. And it was very well received. So you definitely have to stop thinking about what you think other people think of you.
There you go.
That's the whole live right there.
There you go.
That is the
Yes.
whole vibe. Well, awesome. So Instagram, I don't know if you know this, but Instagram starts shutting people down now at 48 minutes, I think it is. It's wild. They don't want us to
Oh,
live our best lives anymore. So if you have any last closing remarks, I don't think we got any questions. And
okay.
that's gonna be it.
Last
I'm so
thing
happy that
is,
you joined us.
look, I stated before they shut us down. Last thing is, if you are in the Houston area, I'd love to meet you. We are having Selfish Day out,
Yes.
and it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be great connections, and you're also going to get a 30 minutes mini lifestyle session. And
Yes.
so it's about building confidence and building like-minded women community, like putting us all together. And so it's limited spots for October 22nd. We would love to have you. If you check the link in the bio, you'll be able to see it so you can book. And it's going down.
It's
Okay.
going down. I'm gonna be
Going
there.
down, going up, whatever.
Laura and I share a brand photographer, which
Yes.
is High Key Photography.
Thank you,
You see
photography.
us tagging her all the time. So if you're in Houston and you, please come join us because first of all, you need to be around like-minded women, and then second of all, you need a day out, and then third of all, you need some branded shoots. So you might as well come join. You get three for the price of one. Come
Absolutely. Right?
on.
Don't miss out on this
Absolutely.
opportunity. It's going to be freaking phenomenal. Okay.
Yes. So if you follow me, you can DM me and I can give you more information about it, or feel free to definitely go to Laura's page. She has the links already. And I hope that you all found some value in tonight's live. And I hope that you continue to find value in everything that Laura has to give because she's truly passionate about it. I can talk about mindset all day, but at the end of the day, I go to people like Laura, my therapist, my mentor. It's just you have to find who you resonate with and stick by them. So I thank you, Haiki. Thank you all so much for joining and for making all of this a fun environment. I hope everyone has a very selfish night and talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.